And you're not giving us your details, which just raises suspicion. You're filming in a police station.
I understand.
You freely admitted to us, okay? So this time you are detained for a search under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, okay?
Are you sure you want to do that?
I'm PC Door for Lewis Police Station, yes.
Okay, could you explain to me the grounds for the search? I'm not going to obstruct. Can I put the phone down?
Can I hold the phone?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel that exposes police overreach and breaks down the rights they never expect you to know. What starts as simple public filming turns into a full-blown terrorism suspicion narrative, with officers pushing for ID, motives, and control. But the auditor stays calm, keeps his cool, and absolutely dismantles the pressure with logic, confidence, and textbook knowledge of his rights. Let's jump straight into it, because this one gets intense fast.
Hello mate, you alright?
Yeah, good, thank you.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Excellent. What are you up to at the moment?
I'm filming.
What are you filming?
The back gate.
Why are you filming the back gate?
I just have an interest.
You have an interest in what?
The police station.
Okay, what sort of interest?
A public interest.
A public interest,
Yes.
okay.
Do you mind identifying, please?
I'm PC Door. Charlie Delta 911
Okay.
from Lewis Police Station.
Can I help you with anything?
You're sitting in a public place, but I need to understand your motivations in filming a police station.
Okay.
You'll see there's obviously a security concern there, isn't there?
Right.
Of people filming police stations.
What sort of security concern?
Well, I'm sure you can work that out for yourself, can't you?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Would you care to explain?
Well, you say me you've got an interest in the back gate of the police station.
Yeah.
So what is that interest?
It's a public interest.
In what way?
The public are interested.
The public interested in the back gate of the police station?
Yeah.
And why would that be?
Because the police station is paid for by the taxpayer, so I have a right to come and film it.
Okay, alright. And who are you?
I'm Pinnock.
Pinnock, okay. Have you got any ID, Pinnock?
No, sir.
None at all?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to blow that in your face.
Okay.
Forgive me.
You ain't got any ID on you at all? Nothing
No,
with your name
sir.
on?
Why would I need to provide ID? Am I committing an offence?
Well, potentially, yeah.
What offence
Yeah.
might that
There
be?
are offences under the Terrorism Act.
Right. I don't see
It's
how...
called like hostile reconnaissance.
Do you believe that this is hostile reconnaissance?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to establish that, aren't I?
Well, you need to be pretty assured and confident that this is hostile reconnaissance before you start.
I'm investigating that, aren't I? That's why I'm asking you questions.
Would somebody that would be doing hostile reconnaissance film a police station in broad daylight?
Potentially, yeah.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, well, that's what we need to work out, isn't it?
Okay, and what if we can't work it out?
You're happy to give me your details?
No, I'm not going to hand over any details.
You're not going to hand over your details?
I'm not obliged to, officer.
What just happened there is textbook fishing for suspicion. The officer saw open filming at a police station, demanded motives, asked for ID, and then floated hostile reconnaissance without real grounds. The auditor stayed calm, answered selectively, and forced the conversation onto legality instead of fear. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000 allows a constable to stop and search someone only when they reasonably suspect the person is a terrorist. The Home Office Code for Terrorism Act Stop and Search goes further. Suspicion must rest on objective facts, information, or intelligence, and officers have no power to detain someone merely to find grounds. Refusing questions cannot create suspicion after the fact. That means filming openly in daylight, declining ID, and asking which offense is suspected do not justify a terrorism search. In this situation, the officer was probing for a basis, not articulating one. Notice how the officer kept asking broad questions instead of stating concrete grounds. That was a tactical search for compliance. Each calm refusal narrowed the officer's options. Once the auditor asked what offense applied, the power dynamic shifted from official confidence to defensive justification. That was a legal pressure test failing in real time. This is authority reaching for terrorism language, and finding the threshold won't cooperate. Knowledge always steadies the moment. When you understand the threshold for police powers, intimidation loses force. Keep calm, ask what offense is suspected, and never give answers the law does not require. Would you have answered those questions to avoid hassle, or refused like he did? What gives you confidence either way?
I'm a member of the public. Like, saying things like hostile reconnaissance is a bit...
You are a member of the public.
It's a bit far-fetched, officer. Like, I'm here conducting a lawful activity. As you mentioned, I'm in a public place, so to be saying such things is a bit... It's a bit distasteful.
Well, it's not distasteful, I'm just doing my job, aren't I?
Well, I'm here recording from a public place.
Yeah,
You don't really
I'm
have
not
any
saying- I'm not saying
jurisdiction.
you're in a public place, okay? But I'm just trying to understand what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's
Okay,
quite
well,
reasonable, isn't it?
Rest assured, it's not hostile reconnaissance. Do you think that this is a valuable valuable target for those that would want to do hostile reconnaissance?
Could be, couldn't it?
I don't agree.
So why won't you give any details?
I'm not obliged to give details. I don't just give my details to strangers. Unless you suspect me of committing an offence, I see no reason
Well,
as to why I should
as
hand over
I sort of
details.
explained to you,
Yeah,
I'm trying to work out what exactly your motivation is here.
there's no ill intent.
Okay, you're telling me that. I'd like to know who you are.
Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you who I am.
It makes it a little bit more suspicious then.
Not really. I'm a member of the public. I don't just have to hand over details because you say so. Come on, like, that's not how these things work.
Obviously, I'm just trying to establish what is going on here and who you are. So it makes life a lot easier, doesn't it?
I'm a member of the public,
Yeah.
filming from public.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know. Are we happy with that?
I'm not particularly happy at the moment, no.
All right. So
I'd like to know who you are.
Well, you're not going to find out. I don't carry ID.
But you could tell me who you are.
I'm not going to. So how do we proceed?
Makes it difficult, doesn't it?
Not really. Like, I'm not committing an offence.
It's raised alarms. You hear recording the police station has raised alarms, which is what's called us out here. So obviously people are concerned that you're recording the police station, which is why we're here, which is why we're trying to find out what your intent is and who you are.
Okay, what could I possibly do with this footage of the police station?
We don't know. A number of things happen in the world, don't they? So if we get called to a call that's in a suspicious alarm, which is you recording a police station, which doesn't happen quite often.
Right.
So now my colleague's trying to ask your name so we can just like, clarify who you are. Because we don't know who you are. You could be known to us for a number of reasons. We might not be known to us. But
Okay.
we just need to work out who you are. But you're refusing to tell us your details.
That's right.
That exchange reveals everything about this encounter. The officers kept circling back to motives, identity, and suspicion, trying to turn a lawful refusal into something sinister. But the auditor stayed planted, kept repeating the same core fact, and exposed the real tension. They had concern, but not clear legal grounds. Notice how the auditor never chased their approval. By calmly repeating public place and not obliged, he denied them the emotional reaction they were fishing for. You can hear the officers pushing harder because uncertainty was slipping away. Once refusal stayed calm, authority lost its shortcut to control. This is what happens when suspicion gets manufactured on camera and still cannot reach the legal threshold. The bluff collapses completely. Standing ground plus legal knowledge equals pressure failing. When you know officers need actual grounds, vague suspicion loses force. Learn the threshold, answer only if required, and keep your composure. Would you have given your name here or held firm until actual grounds were explained? Drop your take below.
I don't see how this is suspicious. Like, what?
We've been alerted to you recording the police station because someone's deemed it suspicious.
Would you mind identifying yourself?
Yeah, PC Captain. I work at a Luce police station.
All right.
Alpha 866 is my phone number.
I think someone that may have ill intent wouldn't come and film openly in broad
You don't know
daylight
that.
and engage with
You
you.
don't know that.
I told you it's for matters of public interest.
But in what sense?
The public are interested in seeing police stations and back gates of police stations.
But why would they be interested in seeing the back of a police station?
I can't speak on behalf of the public, I'm just here to film.
So you do not see why that's a bit suspicious for us?
I don't think so, no. I feel like someone that would
You're
have...
recording a security building.
Is it not a secure building?
Yes, it's a security covered
So
building,
what could I
isn't it?
possibly do with
We
my
don't
camera?
know, do we?
Well, if you don't know, then...
It's not what you can and can't do with your camera, it's what you can do with that recording.
What-
And
okay, what could
who
I-
it gets passed on to. My colleagues already explained to you.
This can all be seen on Google Earth, though. If I had those sort of intentions, then
Okay.
I wouldn't be giving you ample opportunity to come and engage me. Hypothetically, someone that would have those intentions would probably go on Google Earth.
We don't know that, do we?
Well, logic would dictate that.
Not necessarily.
This is very overt in front of your face.
Yeah.
You know, I've explained I'm filming from a public place for matters of...
And we've explained our concerns, which is why we...
What are your concerns?
The fact that you're recording a police station. We don't know why. All you're telling me is a public interest, but interest for what reasons?
People want to know how their tax money is being spent, upkeep of the building. The taxpayer pays for the police service, for the building.
Yeah.
So any member of the public has an obligation to come and film from public. I don't appreciate, you know, things such as hostile reconnaissance and stuff.
That's just concerns that we have. If members of the public or someone has alerted us to a male recording in the back of the police station, it's just one of the things that will cross our mind. So we're not necessarily saying we're supposed to do it, but actually we've got a right to
yeah, you're well within your right to ask me questions, but just alluding to things like hostile reconnaissance, I don't think is a good.
The back and forth you just heard shows classic police pressure tactics. The officers kept rebranding lawful filming as suspicious, leaned on vague security fears, and pushed for identity. But the auditor answered with calm logic, stayed on public place rights, and forced them to defend suspicion they couldn't properly explain. The NPCC guidance for photographers states there are no powers prohibiting the taking of photographs, film, or digital images in a public place, and members of the public should not be prevented from doing so. It also warns that unnecessarily restricting photography undermines public confidence in policing. This means if you are lawfully standing in public, filming a police station visible from that spot is not an offense by itself, and officers cannot treat refusal to explain your interest as automatic wrongdoing. In this exact situation, the auditor's open filming from public space remained legally protected the entire time. Notice how the auditor used their own admissions against them. Once officers conceded he was filming openly and was well within his rights, the pressure lost force. You can hear them retreat into vague concern language. Because he stayed calm, their suspicion narrative started sounding circular. That right there is a mic drop moment. This is officers admitting the filming is lawful, then watching their suspicion argument collapse on impact. Knowledge always weakens pressure. It removes the uncertainty officers sometimes rely on to gain compliance. Learn the public photography rules, answer only what law requires, and hold your ground calmly. Did you notice they admitted he was within his rights? After that, would you still have explained yourself further?
It's a good direction, but... Alright, am I free to go?
My colleague's just talking with our supervisor. I don't know what they're talking about.
So am I free to go?
I mean, I haven't been engaging with you, mainly my colleague has. He's wanted to know your details, so if you're refusing to give us your details...
Yeah, I am.
So what are you going to do with the rest of your day?
Whatever I choose. Do I need to account for what I'm going to do?
Of course you don't.
Alright.
The likelihood is if you come back and record the police station, we will come out and talk to you again.
Okay, well, I'm just here. Like, this is what I'm choosing to do.
Okay.
So am I free to go?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm just filming.
Filming what for?
Matters of public interest.
Matters of public interest. And what brings you here?
To film the police station.
But what for?
The public are interested in things like this.
So what do you do with your videos?
So just use it for my own recreation.
So tell me what you do with it.
I don't need to tell you.
I'm just interested to know.
Okay, well.
So who's asked you to come?
Nobody, I've just come at my own discretion.
Have you been here before?
No.
Any other police stations?
No.
So what is it about Lewis that's drawn you here?
Nothing, I just happened to be here. Just thought I'd do a bit of sightseeing, photography, public photography.
Okay.
Would you mind identifying yourself?
Sergeant Bowery.
Is there anything I can do to help you? Like,
I'm just curious as to why you're here, that's all.
okay, like, rest assured, I've made assurances. There's no ill intent. Just a photographer. This is what I've chosen to film today. Are we happy with that?
We can't really back that up, can we? Because we don't know who you are.
To verify that before we...
You don't have to verify anything. I'm in a public place.
Details, it might help us.
I'm not going to give any details though.
Well, that kind of just raises suspicion, doesn't it?
Why? What's suspicious about this?
Because nobody else
for the entire time I've been working here.
Okay, well,
that raises suspicions.
Well, there's a first time for everything. I mean, I don't need to.
Trying to hide your details, which also raises suspicions.
I'm not trying to hide anything. I don't have, you know, I'm here in public. My face isn't covered. I'm not trying to hide anything. I've explained to you why I'm here. I don't feel like I need to account for my presence.
Okay, mate. But look, this is very, whether you think it's all right, this is very unusual circumstances.
Okay.
And you're not giving us your details, which just raises suspicion.
Okay.
You're filming in a police station.
I understand.
You've freely admitted to us, okay? So this time you are detained for a search under Section 43 of the Terrorism Act, okay?
Are you sure you want to do that?
I'm PC Door for Lewis Police Station, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
could you explain to me the grounds for the search?
Okay, say your hands out
I'm
your
not going to
pocket for me.
obstruct. Can I put the phone down?
Can I hold your phone?
I'll just put it down like this.
Sure.
Yeah.
The tension just escalated to a new level. After minutes of fishing for identity, travel plans, and motives, the officers still had no offense. The auditor kept asking the key question, "Am I free to go?" Then when voluntary questioning failed, they jumped to a Section 43 detention. Section 43 of the Terrorism Act 2000 allows police to stop and search a person only if the officer reasonably suspects that person is a terrorist. The Home Office Terrorism Stop and Search Code says suspicion must be based on objective facts, information, or intelligence, and officers have no power to detain someone merely to find grounds. It also states suspicion cannot be created retrospectively by a conversation or by refusal to answer questions. This means declining ID, refusing to explain your day, or filming openly in public does not automatically justify detention. In this exact situation, unusual behavior was not the legal test. Reasonable suspicion of terrorism was. Notice how the auditor kept returning to process instead of panic. By repeatedly asking whether he was free to go, he forced them to confront the absence of clear grounds. You can hear the shift. Curiosity became frustration, and frustration became formal power once compliance failed. That was a legal knockout blow to their own narrative. This is suspicion getting promoted into detention because the questions stopped working. Legal clarity works like armor here. It deflects pressure without raising your voice. Learn the threshold, ask for grounds, and never confuse police curiosity with lawful authority over you. Once they admitted it was only unusual, would you still answer questions or insist on grounds before any detention? Because that's the difference between feeling pressured and